वंदे जगत्कारणं वंदे पन्नगभूषणं शशिधरं वंदे पशूनां पतिं वंदे सूर्यशशाङ्कवह्निनयनं वंदे मुकुन्दप्रियं वंदे भक्तजन आश्रयं च वरदं वंदे भक्तजन आश्रयं च वरदं वंदे शिवं शंकरं. Friends, we have problems. I am yet to come across a person who can boldly declare I have no problems. At various levels, at various places, we encounter problems. Any number of problems we have, every minute there is a problem cropping up to trouble us. And what is the way out? Is it a temporary solution? Is there a permanent way to remove all the problems? The forest is full of thorns. The forest is full of pebbles, stones. The road is bad. It is full of small pebbles. You cannot remove all the stones, you cannot remove all the pebbles, you cannot remove all the thorns, all our problems. What is the way? Put on good shoes. When you wear the shoe, there is no pebble. You can walk over them. There is no thorn to prick your soul. You can walk. So, if you have good shoes, cushioned shoes with the strong soles, all the problems are not even seen by us, perceived by us. Problems disappear. Problems do exist, but we are not aware of them. Our path is not obstacled. There is no impediment to our progress. We can walk well in comfort in spite of the existence of the problems. Similarly, when we see there is a particular anjana required, medicine required, ointment required to have the vision of the truth, that is called jnana anjana. When we apply that, problems will not be seen. Reality can alone be seen. Truth alone can be perceived. Let us apply the oil of detachment to the hand. While cutting the jackfruit, it will not be sticky to our palms, Sri Ramakrishna says. So, instead of trying to remove problem after problem, why can't we develop that immunity from problems? Why can't we remain detached from the problems? Why can't we know the truth and be unaware of the lies, unreal? Jnana Yoga is the removal of ajnana. All our problems are due to ajnana. Ajnana is ignorance. Ignorance of what? Ignorance of the reality. Ignorance of truth. When we know the truth, there is absolutely no problem. Example, you know where the speed breaker is. You are cautious. The speed breaker will not disturb you. When you are aware of the existence of that, you take necessary precautions. You know the truth about the road. We are afraid of the subjects we have to study for the examination. Physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, history, economics, commerce, computer science, yoga, BNYS, BAMS, all are full of subjects, anatomy, physiology. We are scared of them. We are afraid of them. Why? We have not read them. We have not understood them. We have not mastered them. When you know the truth of physics, when you have thorough mastery over the subject, fear disappears. When you know physics, you can take the examination anytime. From cover to cover, you have mastered the subject. Anywhere, anytime, from any source, any examination, any test you can take because you are sound at your subject. You have got the mastery. Same is the case with all the subjects. Similarly, when you know the truth about the society, you are not afraid of the society. When you know the truth about life, you are not afraid of life. When you know the absolute reality, you are not worried of the relative reality. We live in a world of relative reality, and we have to realize that absolute reality. Reality is at 3 levels. Truth is at 3 levels. Number 1, totally unreal. Number 2, relatively real. Number 3, absolutely real. What do you mean by unreal and real? We are in darkness, we are going on the road, we find a snake. We are afraid of the snake, we run away from the snake, we may even shout on account of fear. When we bring the torch of knowledge, when we focus it on the rope, it is only rope, never was there any snake. Totally unreal. There was never the snake. The rope only appears to the snake. Rope is not a snake. Snake is seen. Unreal is seen as real. When the unreal is seen as real, we are scared, we are afraid, we are in difficulty, we are in problems. That is ajnana. Number 2, it appears the same everywhere. From the earth, when I look at the sun, sun rises in the east, sun sets in the west. It is very much real. I look at the sun, he rises from the east. X looks at the sun, he also rises from the east. It is not so with the snake. When I look at it, it appears to be snake. Another person has the knowledge of that area. He knows that it is only a rope. He saw it previous night, previous evening, and his vision is different. Unreal continues to be unreal for him, but to me, unreal is real. But sun rises in the east. To you, to me, to X, to Y, to Z, everybody finds the sun to be rising from the east. And he sets in the west. Sunrise and sunset are relatively real. From the standpoint of my earth, I am standing on the earth. When I stand on the earth, sun rises in the east, sun sets in the west. But from this level, when I go higher and higher, sun is never to rise, is never to set. Even the earth is seen as a planet. If only the standpoint changes, the relative reality disappears, absolute reality shines. What a fool I was! I was thinking the rope to be a snake. What a fool I was! The sun never rises, he never sets. I thought he was rising and setting. What is it that makes you realize this truth? Knowledge. Vichakshana jnana. When you throw that light, everywhere all our problems are because of our ajnana. Insufficient information, insufficient knowledge, and that makes us very much disturbed. In the Mahabharata, Sri Krishna tried to remove the ignorance of Arjuna. He felt that he was the killer. He felt he was doing the harm, damage, and he felt desperate. He was dejected. He was in depression. He was in the clutches of the problem of the battle, problem of the war, problem of killing, or problem of being killed. This is Ajnana. 17 chapters he tried to rouse his rationalism, kindle his logic, analyzed the situation, brought the light of knowledge, focused it, and said, it is your ajnana to think that you are the killer. And finally, I am not going to the details, finally Arjuna says, very good lesson you have given me, very good instruction you have given me. I was a fool to think that I was the killer. Moha is lost. Ignorance is lost. Nasto moha. Moha is wrong perception. Moha is wrong understanding. Moha is to see the unreal as real. Moha is to see the snake in the rope. Moha it is to feel that the sun is rising in the east. Any wrong perception, any wrong understanding, any wrong notion is supposed to be moha. Nasto moha. Moha is lost. Krishna, you have given me the knowledge of truth. And therefore, moha is gone. I am free from delusion. I am free from that despair. I am free from that dejection, depression. I am free from problems. Sthitosmi gata sandeha. Gata means gone. Sandeha means doubt. Sthitosmi means I am established. I am established in truth without doubt. There is no doubt it is not a snake, it is a rope. I have seen it. I have felt it. And I am sure the sun is not rising in the east. I have seen him steadily staying. It is the earth that is rotating. That delusion is lost. That relative reality is lost. I am established in truth. Therefore, I am Navajnani. I don't find anything disturbing me. I can discharge my duties with all boldness, with all courage, with all conviction, with all smile. Like a sport, I can play the game of this war. I can enjoy it. Now, war is in progress. 13 days the war was completed. On the 13th day, Drona took the reins of the chief generalissimo. First 10 days of the Mahabharata war, Bhishma was the chief on Kaurava side. Next 5 days, Drona was the chief of the army staff on Kaurava side. Next 2 days, Karna was the chief. Last day, Shalya was the chief. 10 plus 5 plus 2 plus 1, total 18 days of Mahabharata Yuddha. On Pandava side, there was no need to change the chief because nobody died. Right from the day one till the last, Drishtadyumna, the brother of Draupadi, was the chief of the army staff. When Bhishma fell on the 10th day, Drona became the chief. On the 13th day of the Yuddha war, there was a special arrangement of the army. Abhimanyu was the person who knew how to enter into that vyuha, into that army group. He knew how to go in, he did not know how to come out. Krishna and Arjun went to another battle elsewhere to fight. Dharmaraj, Bhim, Nakul and Sahadev came as a support to Abhimanyu. The remaining four brothers, Dharmaraj, Bhima and Nakul and Sahadev, were stopped by Jayadratha. Single-handed, all alone, Abhimanyu, the young boy, entered into the enemy's force. He was massacred, mercilessly butchered by the enemies. Duryodhana, Dushyasana, Karna, Shalya, Shakuni, Ashwatthama, Drona, all these heroes, villains, surrounded Abhimanyu when he was helpless, lying on the floor with the chariot's wheel. They have pounced upon him and killed him. This is the story. In the evening, Krishna Arjun returned. Brothers Dharma, Bhim, Nakul, Sahadev were weeping. Abhimanyu's dead body. They conveyed the message of Abhimanyu's death to Father Arjuna. First part of Bhagavad Gita theory. In the theory, it is made clear that the body is transient, mind is transient, intellect is transient. Body, mind, intellect is like the rented house into which the Atman enters. It is relatively real. What is the real product in us? Atman, Brahman, Self, God. All the other things are transient, momentary. Sun does not rise, that is the absolute truth. Relatively, it is real that he rises in the east, sets in the west. Now, relative reality is this body. It does exist. Relative reality is mind and our intellect. But the absolute reality is there, something permanent, eternal, unmoving, achintyam, Anirvachiniyam, Akhandam, Anantam, Advitiyam, and that is the Atman, sun-like. Theory is over. Bhagavad Gita instruction is over. Maitrimilan is over. We know we are not the body. We know we are not the mind. We know we are not the intellect. We know we are different from all these three. There is something blazing in me. There is something self-effulgent in me. There is something shining in me. And I am the Brahman theory. Very good. Now 13th day Abhimanyu died. In the house, wife is quarreling. In the house, son has failed in the examination. In the house, son has fallen in love with the girl and he has eloped with the girl. In the house, the son has made a lot of debt and we have to clear the money, hundreds of problems, practically. The theoretical part is absolute reality I have realized. Practically it is pricking, it is punching, it is pushing, it is troubling me. Wife, son, position, everything. Abhimanyu died. Then Arjuna wept. Sri Krishna was just sitting, leaning against a wall. Sri Krishna also was a little depressed, a little sorrowful. He shed one drop of tear. Then Dharmaraj and Arjuna went to Krishna. Sir, you are a jnani, you are Gitacharya, you know the truth, you know the absolute reality. Why are you weeping, sir? I am not weeping for the death of Abhimanyu. Like a fool, I taught Vedanta, absolute reality to this Arjun. He is not translating his theory into action. Nasto moha, he said. I have lost all moha. I am able to realize the truth, he said that day, at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, on the very first day. 13 days. Within 13 days, he forgot Bhagavad Gita. Within a few hours, we forget Maitrimilan. Within a few seconds, we forget the Atman, Krishna, and we remember only the body. This fool Arjun is weeping for Abhimanyu. That makes me sorrowful. Then Arjuna said, I don't want your theory. I want practice. Krishna, you are capable of bringing the dead boys to life. When you were a child, when you were a student in the Gurukul of Sandipani, you brought the dead boy back to life and gave as Guru Dakshina to your master Sandipani. You are capable of doing it. You are a man of miracles. When you were a boy, you lifted a huge mountain on a small finger. You danced on the hood of the cobra. Kartum akartum anyatha kartum shaktaha. Akhatita ghatana samartaha. You are capable of doing, undoing, doing miracles, mysterious things. Why don't you bring life to my son Abhimanyu? He went on pleading, sobbing, weeping like anything. Krishna looked at him. He thought that he would not be consoled without doing something to him. Mr. Arjun, yes sir, you want your son? Yes sir. Shall I show him? Yes sir. Shall I take him to the place where he is? Yes sir. Can you bring him? Yes sir. You take me, I shall bring him. Then Krishna asked the Arjuna to sit in the chariot. It was about 11 o'clock in the night. And he whipped the horses, Krishna. The chariot started. It's like the runway of the airport. At a great speed, the chariot ran on the runway. Suddenly he pulled the reins. The chariot became the helicopter or the aircraft, and it was going to the sky, flying, 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 flying. Within 45 minutes, the chariot went to Swarga, beyond that Chandraloka. And in that Chandraloka, another planet, there was a handsome young man. The aircraft went to the portico, it stopped there. He called Arjun, Krishna called Arjun, my dear Arjun, look through that window. He looked. In the hall, AC hall, beautiful hall, Samskriti Bhavan, there was a young handsome man in the chair, on the throne. By his side, there was a very, very, very beautiful girl seated. And there were 26 damsels, divine beings, dancing. And the man was enjoying the company of so many girls, 27 totally in number. One is seated by his side, 26 are dancing, and he was enjoying. Abhimanyu was there. Now, Arjuna looked at Abhimanyu. Krishna said, I fulfilled my promise. I brought you to the place where Abhimanyu is. Your son is there. Go, bring him, we shall go back. It is now from the earth's point of view 12 o'clock. We took about 45 minutes to come here. At a great speed we came, and great speed we can go back tomorrow for the fight duty. Please bring your son Abhimanyu. Huge hall. You can imagine how wonderfully situated is Chandraloka. And Arjuna entered from the back gate there. The moment Arjuna was entering the hall, Abhimanyu closed his nose, and there is some foul smell. A dirty human being is cunning. When the dog comes, we feel the smell. When the pig comes, we feel the smell. When alcohol comes, we feel the smell. When cigarette is smoked, we feel the smell. When an unwanted person enters the hall, we feel the smell. Abhimanyu closed his nostrils. Who is that fellow polluting the atmosphere here? Any earthly person here? And at a distance he found Arjun. Who are you? Why do you come here? Why do you disturb our pleasure? Arjun said, my boy, my son, you are my son Abhimanyu. What nonsense you speak. Who are you? Who am I? It is like the person from Bannerghatta going to Florida to meet his son, a software engineer, who fell in love with a white girl and married her and enjoying the night. All the way from Bannerghatta, the man goes to America to see his son, and the son looks at him, hey, dirty fellow, why do you come here? Get out. Abhimanyu said it. Me, your dad, your mother is Subhadra. The war is going on. You came here last night. Don't speak all nonsense. I have acted in many dramas as the son of many people. You also might have acted in many dramas as the father of somebody. In one Janma you are the father of X, in another Janma you are the father of somebody else. We change the roles, actors are the same, soul is the same. In one Janma, in one drama, during one night you play the role of a father, you play the role of a son. I have acted in many dramas as the son of many people. And you might have acted in many dramas as the father of many. When once we complete the drama, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the night, we remove the makeup. When the makeup is removed, you are no more a father. When the makeup is removed, I am no more the son. On the screen, in the theater, on the stage, a girl acts like a heroine, a boy acts like a hero. Hero is married to somebody else in reality. The girl is married to somebody else in reality. That is the real thing. This is only false. All the world is a stage. We are all but actors. Arjuna, you are called Arjuna. You have come from the earth. Don't you think when once the makeup is removed, all relationships disappear? When once we go to the pile, the burial ground or the cremation ground, all the earthly relationships are lost. When once your courses are over, BNYS, BA, MSR, your yoga instructor's course or monthly course or weekly course, we come here, stay together, we develop the relationships, and when once we go back, we forget everything. There are people who come here for a short stay, fall in love with each other, they get even married, they may get even separated, divorced. All these things will happen dramatically in within few minutes. Arjuna, you are like that. Who are you? No, my son. You have the same ears, same eyes, same Atman, no doubt. Same actor, but the role is different. Same Atman, body is different, relationship is different. That is the reality. Then Arjuna says, please come with me. Will you get out or shall I throw you out? Not necessary, better. I thought you are my son. Like a fool, I did not listen to Krishna. I came all the way from earth. I shall go back. You need not push me out. This is the humiliation that every man or woman will have when there is retirement. We are thrown away by our kith and kin. We are thrown away by our own sons and daughters, sons-in-law and daughters-in-law. We are thrown away by the same body which we bring up with so much care. When it is with the disease, the body throws us out. This reality we do not know, and we are caught. Arjuna remembered the Bhagavad Gita, then because of the shock treatment, he went out. Krishna, let's go back. You said you wanted your son. No more son, nothing of that sort. No business. He does not love me, I do not love him. He is an actor, I am also an actor. Come on, let's go back. Shock treatment. All the theory is to be practiced in reality. Especially boys and girls. When the boys love the girls love the boys, and they speak quietly. Your face is like a moon. Your lips are like rubies. Your teeth are like pearls. No, you are an angel on earth. And the girl forgets, remembers only the words of poetry, and the rascal says the same thing to another girl. Let us remember that absolute reality. Let us come down to the earth reality, and then we are peaceful. We are always cheerful. It is only the truth that gives us real happiness. Jnana Yoga is to move from theoretical knowledge of the Absolute to the practical knowledge of the Absolute, and then we play the game of this life. Sri Krishna Paramatma knows who he is, and he has played the powerful game throughout his life, and he has enjoyed it. Let's meditate on Sri Krishna.